Why Digimon is better than Pokemon. Now, before I jump into this video, I know 110% that Digimon essentially is not dead, but its popularity has vastly diminished. And Pokemon, for the most part, is still growing strong and it's still competing with other anime out there. Even after 20 plus years, it is by far not only one of the greatest animes and anime card games and video games of all time, but it is also a cultural phenomenon. I wouldn't be doing justice if I did not say all this stuff prior to what I'm about to tell you, and what I'm going to tell you is why Digimon objectively, in my opinion, is better than Pokemon. And I'm going to be focusing primarily on the anime, not the video games and not the card game, because I do believe the video game itself for Pokemon is almost second to none. Like, there is really no other video game out there like that really captures the heart and the spirit of capturing monsters, pocket monsters. And so there's really nothing like that out there. So I'm not going to be focusing on that, and I'm not going to be focusing on the card game because the card game is also still going very, very strong. What I am going to focus on is the anime itself and just Pokemon, like the Pokemon and the Pokemon world in general. Now, if you haven't seen Digimon, Digimon takes place in the real world, and it takes place back in the 90s, like the original Digimon, but there is electronics, there is computers, there's cell phones, there's all these different things. The digital world is a place that you can go to, and the heroes in Digimon, they get lost in the digital world early on. They are called the Digidestined, and they are brought there and brought there for a reason. They are destined to save the digital world. That's the whole point of Digimon, but they still come back to the regular world. So the fact that it takes place in two different worlds, to me, already has a one-up on Pokemon, because Pokemon literally, it takes place in different regions. Like, there are different regions. There's the original region, Kanto, Johto, there's different places you can go, but it's all one world that is under the rules of Pokemon, the Pokemon laws, and just societal structure around Pokemon. So it's really only the one world, and literally any 10-year-old could be a Pokemon trainer, let alone trying to be a Pokemon master. Like, really anybody can do it. In Digimon, it's a little bit more focused on the people, the kids that are given this Digidestined moniker to begin with, like early on. So, in my opinion, when you have two separate worlds and when they collide, some of the best episodes of Digimon are when the digital world collides into the real world and we get Digimon in real life. They either hide or basically cause terror in the streets because of the fact that they are monsters and they are not in their own original world. So to me, I think that the story concept with the world involved is better with Digimon, because even the digital world has different aspects of it. It's like, say, if Pokemon took place, like the Pokemon world took place online, and then you could still come back to reality and both of them intersected and intermingled. That's kind of what Digimon is essentially, because there is an entire world in the digital verse that is so huge and massive with hundreds and probably at this point thousands of different Digimon. So I honestly think, personally, like, the world itself is better in Digimon than it is in Pokemon, because in Pokemon, like, there's still so many questions to be asked, and that's probably why there's so many theories, because a lot of things don't make a lot of sense. Now, Digimon versus Pokemon, like the actual monsters themselves, and I have to still give the edge to Digimon, because personally, in the first couple of seasons of Pokemon, there are some Pokemon that are so iconic, like Pikachu, that you cannot replace them, right? But in the Pokemon world, you get access to all these Pokemon. You have to breed them, you have to train them, and then you can evolve them if you want. You have to teach them new skills and abilities, and you have a whole bunch of different ones you can grab. And a lot of them are, not really that strong. Like, some of the ones that are like city block level, they're usually the ones that are like the legendary Pokemon. So, like, the firepower behind the Pokemon themselves is not really all there. It's not like the highest when it comes to battle power across all universes, especially all anime universes. And the designs of a lot of Pokemon, especially the newer ones, is just not good. They're not good designs. They're basically lazy. Like, when you have an ice cream cone, as a Pokemon, you know you messed up. The original Pokemon, all the designs, or the majority of them, were derived from different animals, real life animals, and the best Pokemon designs, they reflect that. They follow real life animals, but as the series has gone on, they've done less and less and less with that. They haven't been trying to follow real life animals. They're just making up whatever they want. As opposed to Digimon actually actively takes the real life animal design and uses it. Either that or humanoids. They use humanoids or real life designs. And a lot of the Digimon that come out like that, they're really, really good looking, and they're really, really iconic looking, and they have a lot of versatility. And their designs, in my opinion, a lot of the Digimon designs, even the newer ones, are just really, really good because of the fact that they take a realistic approach, especially since it's a digital world. You would think that they wouldn't, but they do. They take a realistic approach to the Digimon and the way they look. And don't get me started on battle power, because even just the second or third evolved form of most Digimon, like Agumon, they become huge. They're like the size of buildings, and they are city plus blocks of power. Like, they are that strong. Like, most Digimon are far stronger than most Pokemon, and they just look way more badass. I mean, most of them look like they're cyberpunk, or they're some sort of android or cyborg or something. And I mean, come on, they have Angel Woman. Come on, Angel Woman, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Like, they have a lot of really good designs. And on top of that, each Digidestin gets only one Digimon. At least that's how it was. I don't know if they changed it, but that's how the majority of it is. You get one Digimon, and you can kind of really get attached to it and push it beyond all its levels. So yeah, it's just a lot more intimate than having, you know, a bunch of different Pokemon that you end up putting away anyway, and you don't really get to see that often. But you have the one Digimon that's always there. So I just think the Digimon concept of the monsters and the way they look, their abilities, their strength levels, and their designs is just better done in Digimon than it is in Pokemon. And lastly, the story of Digimon versus the story of Pokemon. And this one's an easy slam dunk for Digimon, because Pokemon has, what, Ash be 10 years old, or maybe 10 to 12 years old for the last 20 years. Like, there's not much growth there. I'm watching Ash now with my sons, and I was watching Ash, the same Ash, like back when I was a kid. So he hasn't really changed. The only thing has changed is his partners. They go off and have different lives, but sometimes most of the time they come back and they go back into his life. Now we're finally getting a new protagonist, but yeah, Ash has been with us for 20-something years, and yeah, it is iconic, and it is, you know, because they want to keep the same character. I understand that, but at the same time, like, you need some room to breathe, and Digimon does that by giving us time skips. We get to see the old Digidestin, then when they go back, they grow up, then we get to see the new Digidestin, and so on and so forth. It's just a better way to tell stories. That's why most anime, at least shonen anime, do it. Naruto, Boruto, Black Clover, Bleach, even Dragon Ball, they all have time skips because it makes sense. Everybody wants to see what these characters are doing later down the line, and Pokemon doesn't do that. So like I said, I gotta give that win to Digimon. That's why I think overall, even though Digimon didn't catch the excitement and the wave of Pokemon like the way Pokemon has been the last 20 some years, Digimon, just on all the merits that I've said so far, in my opinion, is a better show pound for pound against the Pokemon show, in my opinion. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Which show is better, Digimon or Pokemon?